Welcome to the director's cut of Christian Nutrition, the show where we review every single episode of VeggieTales chronologically. And by we, I mean just me. Oh yes, it's time. Time for the big one. Jonah, a VeggieTales movie. And actually, there's a lot of backstory to how this movie even came to be. They had a lot riding on Jonah. Big Idea thought this would propel them to bigger and bigger things. In fact, they even had another movie plan where Bob and Larry would be in the real world, kind of like the part of SpongeBob SquarePants the movie where he's with David Hasselhoff. Like that. Or Who Framed Roger Rabbit's probably a better example. Now it's 2002. At this point, Christian films are known to be notoriously, well, garbage. Not much different than today, but back in 2002 there wasn't even one really good Christian film. Not even Passion of the Christ. That hadn't come out yet. Now, it may have been before Passion of the Christ, but it was after Kirk Cameron's Left Behind.
Whoa. Did I just hear the words Kirk Cameron, Left Behind, and Christian?
Oh, nostalgia Christian. Let me pretend that this was a surprise and not at all like we planned this.
I don't even go by that name anymore. I go by, say, MovieNight Kevin. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's the only way I can rip off Nostalgia Critic without his fans jumping down my throat. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is I am, say, MovieNight Kevin, which means not a lot. I know, it doesn't make sense. I am the king of Christian movie reviews, meaning a Christian reviewing Christian movies. There's a ton of atheists out there reviewing Christian movies, but I have no control over them. But what I can control is other Christians, which means I say no Christian gets to review a Christian movie without going through me first.
Yeah. Whatever you say, nostalgia Christian.
I told you that's not my name. All right, clearly you're not listening and you can't be trusted, so I'm gonna have to sit here and review whatever movie you're about to review with you, which is what, actually? Some PureFlix movie or something?
No, we aren't reviewing anything by PureFlix, but at the same time, that name does reassure me that the film is not a dirty movie. We are actually reviewing Jonah, a VeggieTales movie.
Oh, well, I actually like VeggieTales. I don't know if you saw my love letter to VeggieTales called 5 episodes of VeggieTales that I like.
You can rest easy, don't worry. I'm sure it will fill your quota of nonsensical things in this film. It is VeggieTales after all. I highly doubt Big Idea would go to all the effort to make a really bad film. I'm sure this film's good, though in the past they have put out some really average episodes, so they're not perfect. So jump on board, you guys, and enjoy the ride as we review Jonah, a VeggieTales movie. It's that time. Now, this will happen more often in the future, but are you ready for HD? Oh wow, I didn't know we were watching a Pixar movie. Now, what do you think the odds are that we get a voiceover to start this thing?
Well, it is Christian, and it is a movie. Fact is, Christian movies aren't too keen on character development, so voiceover is kind of a go-to for them.
You know what? I'll put money down that you're wrong. I'll give VeggieTales the benefit of the doubt.
Now, Billy Joe McGuffrey was a really clumsy kid. On the first day of first grade, I'll tell you what he did.
That sounds a lot like singing. You better pay up.
We never actually bet anything. Besides, I wouldn't do that because I'm Christian.
Anyways, we open up with Bob, Junior's dad, Junior, Laura, and 2 other veggies I have yet to learn the names of, drive in a van while singing an earworm of a song.
Where's Route 59?
First day in the second grade. First day in the second grade.
We see that Bob is trying to drive everyone to a Twippo concert, and no, I don't know who that is either. While reading a map at the same time, Laura shows off her backstage pass to see Twippo to everyone else. Junior is a bit unhappy, or shall we say envious, that she is rubbing it in. I mean, just look at his face. I just bought life insurance. That's how scared I am.
Well, I'm not scared, because God is bigger than the boogeyman, and we all know that God's not dead. The Phantom Newsboy.
God's Not Dead 2, Attack of the Newsboys.
God's Not Dead 3, Revenge of the Newsboys.
God's Not Dead 4, A New Newsboy.
God's Not Dead 5, Newsboys Strike Back. Even though Supertones, they already did that.
God's Not Dead 6, Return of the Newsboys. I've learned a lot in my lifetime, but the one thing I'll never forget is that all of life's issues can be solved by going to a Newsboys concert. Laura's Twippo ticket flies out the window in a fashion that is unrealistic, even for VeggieTales. But instead of hitting the brakes or flipping U-turn, Bob just keeps on driving. Yeah, he's in a bad mood. Junior's dad gets his guitar stuck and somehow takes off the entire steering wheel in one pull. You've got to be kidding me. No way is his steering wheel coming off that easily. From an acoustic guitar on top of that? What is this thing made in China?
It's a cartoon.
After that major plot convenience that results in a wreck, we get an even bigger one where they somehow crash close enough to see a restaurant within, I would say, a 3-minute walk.
What's seafood?
Maybe it's like tofu.
Only saltier.
Okay, I will admit, that was funny. Everyone enters the seafood restaurant where we see them all bickering with each other.
May we help you?
Shrimp, shrimp, need it, steak and shrimp, need to, eat it.
Oh good, the French peas are here! Finally someone who is funny! Now, if only the pirates would show up, that would make everything perfect.
Hey, could you pass the cheddar biscuits?
Excuse me.
Everything is gonna be perfect, but I have a question. What are the pirates doing in Jonah, a VeggieTales movie? Don't they have their own movie like 6 years later in 2008 with the pirates who don't do anything, the movie?
Who are you?
We are the pirates who don't do anything.
We are the pirates who don't do anything. We just stay at home and lie around.
The pirates who don't do anything tell Junior that it seems like he needs to learn what compassion is. To do this, they tell him a story about that one time they did that one thing with that one guy.
Are you guys still doing that pirate thing?
Arg! Watch your tongue, matey, or we'll have that.
Stay at home and lie around.
And if you ask them to do anything, they'll just tell you.
They don't do anything. And they've never been to Greenland and they've never been to Denver.
The bit's done.
Sorry.
What'll we do?
We won't do anything. We're the pirates that don't do anything, remember?
Oh, that's right. Arg! You got off easy today.
Oh, phew. For a second there, I thought Mr. Nezzer was a goner. The pirates then beg for some Mr. Twisty's Twisted Cheese Curls, but Mr. Nezzer denies them. They have yet to pay their tab, but to them, that isn't really that important. They just want to win the sweepstakes. Mr. Nezzer offers them a job and asks them what exactly they can do.
I'm pretty good at lawn darts.
Ping pong. I can play ping pong. Croquette is my speciality.
He is gonna slam the door on. Makes sense. I would have done the same.
Isn't he worried he's gonna lose money if he closes up shop so early?
As we've learned previously, he owns a chocolate factory and a toy factory. I'm sure he'll be fine.
They were fresh when we cut them
That's right.
2 weeks ago.
Ninevites.
Obvious foreshadowing is obvious. Jonah, our lead character, finally shows up 14 minutes into the movie and gets off on the right foot by giving us a fun, catchy tune to sing.
Be a friend, say your prayers. Heaven loves a heart that cares. That is why I've come to share a message from the Lord. Be a friend, say your prayers. Heaven loves a heart that cares. That is why he came to share a message from the Lord.
We learned that Jonah was a prophet who was kind of a big deal. Everyone listened to what he had to say. Later on, when he was praying, God tells him to go to Nineveh, the place where
Everyone slaps each other with fishes!
Yes!
Let's move there now!
Okay, but I need to clarify, you do realize there's no actual town in the entire world where people just slap each other with fishes. You know that, right?
Aw, fine, ruin all the fun. Going all Kirk Cameron on me.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Nothing. Where were we? Jonah then proceeds to sing about every reason in the world he shouldn't go to Nineveh with this instantly forgettable song.
A message from the Lord.
No, don't bring it back. We've moved on from that.
Follow them and you're no fool, a message from the Lord. Jonah then runs out of his tent the next morning while proceeding to be harassed by the locals for another message from the Lord. Mind you, he just gave them a message the day prior, so I'm unsure what more they wanted. This causes Jonah to panic, and he decides that he wants to go on a cruise to the other end of the world, except no one will take him. No one except...
The pirates? They're gonna do something? They've never even been to Boston in the fall.
Well, yes, but this is that one time they did that one thing with that one guy.
Next up, Tarshish! I'll hoist the mainsail!
I'll pop the popcorn! I'll get the moist towelettes!
Sorry! My fault!
Oh, what have I done? What have I done?
So in pretty much no time at all, Jonah feels instantly guilty. I'm sure this decision won't have any consequences later.
What did you do that for?
Mr. Twisty?
Hello, my name is Khalil. I am a caterpillar. Well, that is only half true. My mother was a caterpillar, my father was a worm, but I am okay with that now.
This is the only joke this character has the entire movie that's even remotely worth a chuckle. I like Junior better. Junior's better than this caterpillar worm thing. The caterpillar worm thing tries to establish himself as the quirky / goofy sidekick. I don't buy it for a second. Seems very forced. Jonah then has a dream sequence where God is calling out to him, yet Jonah tries his best to ignore God. Oh, and God seems to sound a lot like Pa Grape here.
Jonah! Where are you going?
The pirates then wake Jonah up to help them with the massive storm they're going through. At one point, Pa Grape says that the storm must be because, and I quote, somebody up there must be really upset with someone down here. Which makes sense as to how Pa Grape knows this, since God's voice sounds a lot like Pa Grape. They must be one and the same in the VeggieTales universe. Pa Grape then declares that via an epic game of Go Fish, they will figure out who God is upset with. Jonah can't take the guilt and confesses that he is the one God is upset with. The pirates then make him walk the plank. Well, that cleared up quickly. I guess Pa Grape was right. What a twist!
Well, it wasn't a twist to me because I've read the book.
Anyways...
Oops.
The end.
That was Jonah, a VeggieTales movie.
Wait, no way! Jonah does not just get swallowed by a whale and then wham, bam, end of movie.
Wait, have you not read the Bible story of Jonah?
We follow Jonah and his annoying sidekick instead of the more interesting pirates as we see the two arguing inside the belly of a whale. Some angels show up and sing about how God is the God of second chances. God then grants Jonah a second chance and returns him to dry land.
Oh, Reginald. Good to see you.
Wow, how convenient for the camel to be exactly where Jonah lands on dry land after 3 days of being inside the belly of a whale. But then again, God had Jonah survive 3 days inside the belly of a whale. You get a pass this time, VeggieTales. It's plausible. Jonah then proceeds to make the long and arduous journey to Nineveh. He preps himself with a pep talk that consists of...
Go in, give the message, get out.
Yeah, that. Jonah explains to the gatekeeper that he has a message for the entire city. They of course laugh at him, as they should, and they won't let him in. That is until the biggest plot convenience ever happens.
I bet we could get him in. I sailed halfway across the world with these fine gentlemen.
All right, you can come in.
That was extremely easy. The pirates then explain how they spent all the money Jonah gave them on cheese curls. Staying biblically accurate, of course, the pirates found a golden ticket in one of the bags.
'Cause I've got a golden ticket. I've got a golden ticket.
Which means they won the sweepstakes and got to visit Nineveh to see the cheese curls factory. Jonah is a bit terrified when he sees all the fish slapping when all of a sudden the pirates are put into custody for stealing cheese curls, which causes Jonah to be guilty by association.
We are going to die!
For their punishment, the slap of no return!
The slap of no return? I'm not sure I can handle this anymore. Kevin, could you take over?
Oh, now you call me by the right name because you want something from me. I get how things are. Nah. You got this, buddy. I think you can handle it.
If you don't take over, I will reveal your deepest, darkest secret.
How dare you?
Oh, yeah, I'll do it. Don't test me.
Okay. Jonah convinces everyone that he's been in the belly of the whale, and so the people of Nineveh allow him to speak and tell them what God said that he needed to come and tell them, which was that they need to stop hitting people with fishes. And so they do stop hitting people with fishes. That seems like a very strange thing, but they listen. And so Jonah, though, goes up to a cliff, and he says that he is going to sit there and watch them burn, because God said that he would do that if they didn't listen. However, they did listen, so this doesn't happen, and it makes Jonah a little upset.
Wait. It can't end like that. This has to be another fake out ending. Just tell me what really happens.
No, that's really how it ends, in VeggieTales and in the book known as the Bible. See, you gotta understand, Jonah and his family have actually been hit by these fishes before, and so he feels like this is some sort of wrath of God coming down on them. You would know this if you read the book. Also, I'm really glad that they included that part in it, because this is kind of a message to people like the God's Not Dead films, where they kill off so many of the non-believers. Maybe God isn't there to bring down his wrath on people, but he's there to show them grace through you.
Well, that is quite unsatisfying, to say the least. I'm actually a bit flabbergasted. Let's see what else this movie has, because at this point, we're like an hour and 10 minutes in. If the movie's only an hour and 10 minutes long, what a ripoff.
Wait a minute. It's over?
My sentiments exactly, Bob.
What did Jonah learn?
The question, my friends, is not what did Jonah learn, what did you learn?
Oh, what do we learn? Yeah, what a cop-out. Twippo, the guy they were going to see in concert, shows up out of nowhere at the restaurant. This is an even bigger plot convenience than Jonah getting into Nineveh. Apparently, he is lost going to his own concert. What VeggieTales really means is that the story needed to wrap up and they didn't know how else to do it. Anyways, Twippo sings a song about Jonah that is quite catchy.
Jonah was a prophet, but he really never got it.
Sad but true.
If you've been watching, you can spot it.
A doodly-doo.
I told you it was catchy.
Have we met?
Wait, could it be?
It's the Newsboy!
There's been an awakening. Have you felt it? God's Not Dead 7. The Newsboys Awaken.
No, now you've taken the joke too far. Haven't you ever heard of the rule of sixes? Jokes work best in groups of 6.
There once was a song that ran under the credits that went with the movie, but this is not that song.
Both of these songs in the credits actually improved my look on the entire film. The humor was certainly on point. It's just a shame that the runtime was so short and the ending fell flat. Now, the rest was fairly good. What do you think?
Well, I thought that the movie was really funny. I mean, they did what you would expect a VeggieTales movie to do, and that's go bigger. Go big or go home. And they did exactly what VeggieTales does best, which is parody something. And, you know, one of the things about VeggieTales that I really like is that it doesn't really matter what they're parodying. They seem to both make fun of the source material while still respecting it. It's almost like they have this irreverent reverence to anything that they parody. I kind of wish that VeggieTales would do a really good Star Wars parody, but Family Guy and Phineas and Ferb have already kind of done that. This is a great parody of the story of Jonah. It's great for kids. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Like, it's not too long. Even though there's those moments where you're like, is this the end? Does it end here? I thought it was really great that it didn't make Jonah out to be the good guy. It really showed Jonah for who he was in the Bible, and I think that's what VeggieTales has always done really well, and they once again do it really well here. Some of the problems that I would have with it is just more on the back end, because I know people who were involved in the small things with this film, and they never got paid, like freelancers and stuff. And so it's kind of disappointing because the film was not what VeggieTales was supposed to do, and all of that is laid out in Phil Vischer's book. Unfortunately, because VeggieTales tried to grow so fast, they're doomed by their own success, and that continues to this very day. But the film itself that they made, I thought was really great. It's better than Ants.
Everything is better than Ants. Even God's Not Dead. Sorry guys, I may have been exaggerating a little bit there. Stay tuned, as next time we tackle The Ballad of Little Joe. And no, that's not a ballet.
Oh, Ballad of Little Joe, that's one of my favorites. Thanks for having me. This has been a huge blast. I really enjoy talking about VeggieTales. I'm always down to talk about that. And yeah, you can check out my channel. It is youtube.com/saygoodnightkevin. And I have a Patreon, but I don't expect anybody to give to my Patreon just because they saw me in a review. It's patreon.com/saygoodnightkev.
Remember, God made you special.
And he loves you very much.
Bye.
Well, it wasn't a twist to me because I've read the book.